Customs and Border Protection has seized over $14,000 in cash from two Somali-born U.S. citizens who were departing on international flights from Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport on Sunday.
This story happened January 20th, not even a week ago. These two Somalis were arrested at Minneapolis Airport trying to leave on an international flight to Somalia with $15,000 cash in the bags, in their I'm assuming their carry-ons. 15,000. Now you know this was going on the regular during the Biden administration. That's why these people are so comfortable thinking they can get away with this. Who would try to make a move with all of the activity going on in Minneapolis right now? Who would try to make this kind of move? Somebody with not a lot of snap. What do these two recent deaths have in common? They were interfering in an ICE operation. Renee Good, mother of three. They tried to paint such a lovely picture of this young lady. And then, according to her wife, she says Renee Good was a warrior. They had taken training classes on how to disrupt an ICE operation. That lady is down the street blowing the horn for the last 4 minutes prior to that officer approaching her door, asking her to exit the vehicle before her tragic death. Tragic because she wasn't supposed to have been there. If she was the mother of three, like most mothers of three, she should have drove off. But no, her and her wife, they were there to disrupt ICE. And now this latest gentleman. Why are you interfering in the middle of an ICE operation? What is wrong with you people? You can't, what the Democrats have got themselves into in Minnesota, you can't save them. Minnesotans, don't let Mayor Fry, who's guilty, Mayor Fry, Governor Walz, Keith Ellison, and Flanagan, all of these people are corrupt officials in Minneapolis. Corrupt. The money was too good. The money was flowing too good. They didn't want to give it up. This is why Melissa Hortman had to be eliminated, because she broke code. She broke the Democratic norm and voted with Republicans to not fund fraud in Minnesota under the auspices of Minnesota Care. She did not want to legalize the fraud in Minnesota, and it cost her life. The person we should be mourning, not Renee Good, not this last gentleman, but Melissa Hortman and Mark Hortman. Those are the true heroes of Minnesota.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote. I know that people will be hurt by that vote. And we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
What provision was Melissa Hortman, the late Melissa Hortman, talking about? Well, let's read. Melissa Hortman, a former Minnesota House Speaker, notably voted against a provision that would have continued state-funded health care, i.e. Minnesota Care, for undocumented adult immigrants as part of a budget compromise in June of 2025. And yes, that vote cost her her life. This was Melissa Hortman after the vote, in tears. I believe, allegedly, someone had threatened her life right after that vote, that she cast that vote, literally ending the fraud. She did not want to be a part of the fraud. And she and her vote just happened to be the decisive vote. Tim Walz, Mayor Fry, A.G. Ellison, the police department. Yes, the police department are a part of the corruption that is going on in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is no coincidence all of this drama, as it was pointed out by a TikToker, all of this drama is unfolding in Minnesota. And the news, the most corrupt of all, the media, are turning your attention away from the fraud to focus on two people who were tragically killed, Tragic, not because the officers were doing their job. Tragic because Tim Walz, Mayor Fry are putting battery packs in the backs of Minnesotans and these paid agitators, professional agitators, to go out in Minneapolis and be disruptive, to try and slow down the deportation process that is going on in Minneapolis. And sadly, these people are doing it to their own detriment, to the detriment of their family, to the detriment of any survivors that are left in their wake, because they believe that they are doing something right. Instead of what the media is not telling you, they're covering up the fraud. The fraud is the issue in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Don't let the media turn your attention to these deaths. Don't let the media turn your attention to the protests that are going on, these staged protests that are going on in Minneapolis. They want the fraud to continue. The fraud is continuing as we speak. When we open this video, 2 Somalis were just arrested at the airport on January 20th. The money is still flowing. The police department, everybody's paid. Who did not accept money in Minneapolis? Who is honest? Who is not corrupt in Minneapolis? Nick Shirley goes in there and everybody goes nuts. They paint out Nick Shirley as the villain, not Mayor Fry, not Tim Walz, who ordered the hit on Melissa Hortman and her husband, who ordered the hit. This is evidence that the FBI has in a handwritten note from the killer himself. Now, this is Minneapolis, Minnesota. All of this investigation is happening in-house in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where the hub of fraud is taking place, and everybody is involved. The AG is involved. Keith Ellison is involved. There is no elected official, allegedly, that is not involved in this. The police is involved. Everyone tied to the investigation of this murder is involved in the corruption of the Somali fraud in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Keep that in mind as you read these AI overviews that I'm showing you. These reports are made by the people in Minneapolis. No one else has come outside of Minneapolis and investigated this. Yet they have the hitman in jail who has alleged Tim Walz has put him up to it. Now, they took Donald Trump to court on less evidence and no evidence at all. But they ignore this because it's a Democrat. This is why I don't F with the Democrats no more. As of 2018, I cut ties with these clowns. These clowns are killers. Straight up, non-stop killers. They will stop at nothing to keep their power. Their power is the most important thing to them. And if you think these 2 people who were just killed are important to the Democratic Party, you are crazy.